Standing. Hi, family. This is Dr. Glanton from Still Standing, and we are up to episode 6. And that episode is called You're Becoming, even if you don't see it yet. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. And this is kind of a word that's I've been carrying all week. I've been thinking about it. It's not just for me, but for you as well. And this is for that person who's doing the work. You're absolutely doing the work. You're trying to heal, you're trying to grow, you keep showing up, you keep doing the best that you can do. Even when nobody's looking or people aren't clapping for you, you're always there. You're just doing what you need to do. And sometimes when you look at yourself or you reflect, you're like, what's happening? I mean, it doesn't look like my life is progressing. It doesn't look like things are moving along. When you look in the mirror, it looks a little bit different for you. But I want to remind you of something. This is very important, and it's kind of part of this whole journey. I want to remind you what the word says. So I want to share a scripture with you. I'm going to look at it and read it. It's Philippians 1:5. And this is what it says. Being confident of this very thing, that he who began a good works in you will complete it until the day of Jesus Christ. So God has not forgotten what you're doing. He absolutely does have a plan for your life. And I think part of that journey is knowing that you're special, you're important, and the things that you do, they matter. So let me tell you a little short story. An experience that I had. And it wasn't that long ago when I was looking and thinking, as you've heard some of my story, but I didn't tell you this particular one. So when I was growing up, I had a hard time figuring out what it is that I wanted to do. And I went to college. I went to Michigan State. And I was there during the time of Magic Johnson, NAACP championship. I was a freshman. And I thought I was going to be a veterinarian, and I was really gung-ho about it, and I just wanted to please my family, and I wanted to feel good about myself. So I ran off to school, this gigantic school, and I should have probably been at a smaller school. But I went there, and I had a lot of difficulty trying to find my way in. To make a long story short, I ended up dropping out. I had like a 1.4 GPA. I wasn't passing my grades, and the classes were so big, and I was afraid I didn't know how to get the help that I needed. So I ended up coming back home. Well, that was a blow to me at 19 years old. Coming back, I made it through. I was going into my sophomore year, but I wasn't passing, and I felt so disappointed, and I thought I was doing everything I could, but I just felt like I wasn't going anywhere, and I've talked about those moments. But what I realized is that during that time in my life, the thing that made the difference for me is that I had support. I had my family that were trying to encourage me. I ended up being a cashier for a long time, and then I was a bank teller for a long time. I was customer service. I just could not find my way. And it wasn't really until I was in my 30s. I said I was in my 30s. This was after coming from high school. That I think I was 28 years old when I went to LVN school. So I started, my first professional job was LVN school, a 1-year program. So this was going from a 4-year college, dropping out, not having the best grades, to a couple of years later, I was married, had kids then, and then I finally went back to school at 28 years old and became an LVN. And this was the first time that I felt like I was doing something. And it wasn't, that was a big moment for me in my life, because I really had to kind of think about, this is the first time I'm going to be a professional and making some decent money. And so that really began to change my life. It really did. So sometimes you don't have to see what's going on for it to be working. But what I did do, I kept working, I kept trying, and I just wasn't willing to give up on myself. I felt like if I could just find that thing that was for me. And I realized that that was, for me, it was nursing. But I was like a bank teller. I did all kinds of things. I even had gone to a 6-month school for computer programming, and that didn't last long because that was very difficult. But I just wanted to encourage you that just because you don't see something happening in your life, it doesn't mean that the paths aren't being laid for you. So I want you to keep that in mind. So growth always doesn't happen in the moment that you want it to happen. Because everything is so microwave. We want everything so fast. Like I said, I was 19. I went off. I'm going to be a veterinarian. I'm going to go to school. Everything's going to go well. No, that's not how that worked out. But, I still believed in myself, even though I couldn't see the success of believing in myself. And times I got discouraged, very discouraged. And sometimes when you look at other people, you get discouraged because you think everybody's doing well but me. That's what you think. And sometimes it looks like that. But becoming doesn't always feel like you're becoming, because life, the journey itself is you moving into a different journey. Every day you're part of a new journey, a different period in your life. And sometimes it's in silence. Sometimes it's in sadness or grief. We all have these different periods, right? Or seasons, they call them. Sometimes it's just a brief moment, and then sometimes it seems like a longer moment, like a hallway moment, like, oh gosh, is this ever going to end? But we're not left out, and we're not left alone in this. We just have to step into something else. We have to move into something else. We have to drag ourselves into something else. And still, that's part of us becoming who we are in our journey every time. Retrospectively, we look back and say, oh, I remember when I came from this situation. Or even now, you might be saying, I'm struggling in this particular area. But you're moving through these periods. You're becoming something else. You're moving into something else. So give yourself that grace. So the first thing I want to share with you, not to consider, because I'm not telling anyone what to do, but to consider thinking about comparing. This is the warno about comparing. Don't compare your progress and yourself to someone else's. Don't do it. Their chapter 20 is not your chapter 6. Don't do it. You're not too late, you're not too old, and you're not disqualified. You're in progress. You are progress in works. Have you ever heard that saying before? You're in progress. Second thing, challenge. Challenge yourself. I really want you to challenge yourself. And what do I mean when I say that? Write a letter to yourself about your future and what you want to see. The version of you who's healed, that's getting better, okay, not beating yourself up. The version of you that's whole, that you're finding happiness in your life. The version of you that's walking in the purpose that God has for you, that He has for all of us, whether or not you believe it or not, or a believer or not. We really all have a purpose that we need to fulfill in this life that we've been given. And some of us will come to that understanding and some of us may not, but it's there for all of us for the taking. That's for sure. And then what I want you to do is, this is what I want to share with you. I wrote this down. Say these things. I never gave up on you. I keep walking. I didn't see it all, but I trusted anyway. Then say this out loud: I'm becoming. I'm not behind. I'm right on time for my purpose. The next thing I want you to think about is blessing. This is a blessing for you. And the blessing that I have for you is this: may you walk in the grace of your becoming. I really pray that for you. May you find rest in the in-between times when you're not sure what's happening in your life. May you silence every lie that said you've missed it. Silence every lie that says you're too late, you missed it. Silence it. And may you stand in the fullness of who God is making you to be, even right now, in this moment. That's what I pray for you. You're becoming even if you don't see it yet. And once again, I see you. I see you. I just want to thank you for this time again that we've had together. My name is Dr. Glanton, and I'm with Still Standing. And I want you to know that I enjoy these moments with you. And I look forward to talking to you next time in episode 7. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Bye.